Hello everybody, my name is Kristen DeMeza, also known as Cadium. This by my side is Tyler Fuchs, also known as Tyrius.
Yep.
And together we are the senior game designers on WildStar with the hardest last names to pronounce.
True story.
Yes. And we will be showing you today two of, well really the only two new instances of Power the Primal Matrix. A new expedition called Evil from the Ether, and a new dungeon called Coldblood Citadel.
Yep. I'm really excited to get into these. They're both awesome.
Yes.
So, before we get into the content, we wanted to give a shout out to the people that are testing on PTR. Big thank you for everything you're doing. This Power of the Primal Matrix update is huge, like massive huge. And we need your help to get all of the feedback. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what we need to change. And that's thus far you guys have been doing a great job. It's been super helpful, and we've actually made a lot of changes according to your feedback that we think are great for the game.
Definitely.
So that's going to keep continuing, so get back on PTR, test new changes, provide more feedback, and we'll keep going until this thing is great.
Yeah, please keep posting. We're reading everything you guys have written. It's been fantastic so far. Before we get into it, I would like to open a little something that I got.
Okay.
I'll let you open it too. You can open mine.
Oh, I get to open Maggie's. Awesome.
So
It's a present.
This is from Fox. And I know what this is. I've seen pictures, but these came today. And I think they will make wonderful little decorations for...
I have no idea what this is. I
Yeah?
haven't seen pictures, so it's actually a surprise.
I will let you open yours first then.
All right. I'll open this one first. It's well sealed.
It is.
And
Made the trip well.
What do we got? It's fluffy.
It is very fluffy.
It's fluffy. It's a Rousdower.
It is. They are adorable little
Aww.
felted Rousdowers. They are fantastic. They're so cute.
That's great.
And
He's gonna live here.
Yeah.
Here.
He has a little trouble standing up, but you know what? It's a
Yeah.
Rousdower. It's the way of things for Rousdowers.
go.
Rousdowers are a little dopey. But yeah, pull them up a little
There we
bit.
go.
Yeah, there we go. Back. Together. It's adorable. All right.
Awesome. Those are very cool. Thank you,
Yes.
Snowfox.
Thank you so much, Snowfox. Those are adorable.
Yeah, and well made. They look fantastic.
It's okay. They're
All
together
right.
forever now.
Together forever.
All right. So do we want to get in and start showing people a little bit of gameplay?
So yeah, I mean, I think the first thing we're gonna do is Evil from the Ether, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's hop into that. So we're gonna do Prime 1, Evil from the Ether. So select Prime levels, Evil from the Ether.
Someone said make them kiss.
Make them.
Just for you.
Awkward. All right.
HR.
So let's queue up. We're in. So before we get into the action, why don't you tell us a little bit about
The lore?
what is Evil from the Ether? What is it about? What are we doing? Yeah, the lore.
All right,
Make Pappy happy.
The Pappy's not here today, but I will go ahead and go into the lore. So we haven't really talked a lot about the story behind the Mordesh in-game. It's something you can find a lot outside of the game, but really you don't find out a lot about the Ravenous and the Trouble on Grismara a lot in Nexus proper. And we thought they would be really cool for everybody, Exile and Dominion alike, to experience that a little bit. So the idea is that the Zarkov Shade tried to escape the barricade around Grismara, the Dominion barricade. And in order to do that, they used a particular experimental drive to get past that, kind of phase into another reality entirely and bypass all the ships. Turns out experimental technology is a little dangerous from
Who'd have
time to
thought?
time. It's funny how that works. And they ran out of Vital Serum and had a whole bunch of problems. So Evil from the Ether is about exploring that and about trying to get that experimental technology for the Ecos, who of course are always looking to get a little something from this sort of thing.
To keep them.
So
Yeah. Keep them wealthy. All right. So we are in Evil from the Ether.
We are.
Start by talking to Captain Weir, and he's going to have a quest. I'm betting those rewards are not so important for me right now.
No,
It's probably
those-
the low-level quest, huh?
yeah, it's worth noting that this is actually something that will be available on normal mode as well. It is in the early 20s, around the first act of White Veil. So in those two initial hubs in White Veil, Dominion and Exile, you will be able to do it on normal as well.
Okay, so mid-20s, and then we're obviously doing the Prime version, which is the level 50 version.
Absolutely.
So we're in, and we're investigating. We don't really know what's going on yet.
Yep.
Captain Weir's just like, get that drive, because it's probably worth lots of money or something.
Very dark. And then bad things happen.
You know.
Because, well, it wouldn't be exciting if everything went right.
Oh. I really like the vibe of this this expedition. It's got a lot of, like, we get to explore the Mordesh a little bit more, which they're really cool, and just the whole, you know, zombie not a zombie thing going on.
Yeah, and through the logs and the VO, you learn a little bit about the crew and how they started running out of the serum and needing to ration it, and just the desperation that set in before everything went to hell.
So you almost have this like Lost in Space kind of thing going on. Like they're trapped on, you know, the desert island equivalent of space, because they don't have enough supplies to keep them alive, or, you know, keep them not undead.
Right.
I guess. Which is kind of cool. Like, you can imagine the things they must have done. A little bit of Donner Party going on in here.
Yeah, definitely. They started locking people away and just generally being pretty terrible to a few members of the crew. And it didn't help that the whole etheric drive started causing other problems, but we'll get into that in a bit.
We'll get to there in a bit.
Right now we're just exploring the area that is fully ravenous, fully taken over by the zombies.
Oh.
Reinforcing some tech there.
And they're out to ambush me.
Yes. So
this looks like, it's a Reaper.
Yes.
It's not one of the mini bosses. It's just one of the big guys.
Just a slightly tougher one. Go over to the right there. You need to start generators. This is
a little bit of a gruesome tableau.
I'm sure they got a
surprise.
Funny how that works.
When you're in a zombie flick, never trust a corpse on the ground.
Be very careful. That happens often here. It turns out they're not quite as dead as you realized. The early bits here are basically powering up various generators that you find as you get through, because obviously this thing has not really been operating at full power for quite some time.
Right, we're trying to bring the ship back online enough so that we can be more comfortable and navigate through, you know, all those locked doors, sealed bulkheads, etc.
Yep. It's interesting to note that this concept was originally something that we came up with before launch. It was a shipman called Void Hunter back then, but for a variety of reasons, it just was never really in a place where we thought we could go live with it. It had a variety of issues, and the flow wasn't quite right. So instead of releasing it, we went back to the drawing board for a while, and when it came time to make a new expedition and just bring more content in, we thought it would be a great idea to revisit this concept and finally bring this to the players. So the fact that we were able to put it together and solve a lot of the issues with flow and things like that, I think were great. And it looks awesome too. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I
played those early iterations of Void Hunter. This is much better.
Yes.
We did good here. All right. So there's like a dude locked in a containment
just mad.
cell. He's really angry.
Yeah.
You know how you know? He has red eyes.
It's true.
Also, while I'm moving through the space, one of the objectives that I'm doing is grabbing all these crew data logs that are kind of, you know, personal information recordings about how horribly wrong everything went from a bunch of different perspectives.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool to get it from, you know, different perspectives on the crew, not just the captain or the pilots or whatever.
Yeah, now we are facing off against the security chief.
Kondovich.
Yes, he is the mini boss of the run, and he's a bit of a tougher customer. We haven't really done a lot in expeditions with traditional mini bosses or bosses like we do in dungeons. The focus is a little bit less on PvE excellence in expeditions, but he's got a trick or two.
Yeah, that big giant whirlwind was a little scary. Oh,
Doing it again.
Let's see.
Security sweep. Oh, nope.
Ow. So this Prime 1. Oh no, I evaded him by going too far away.
You did.
Prime 1's not all that difficult,
No.
especially with the character that I'm playing right now. I've got some pretty good gear.
You're pretty well geared, yeah.
But I have played this on, I think, Prime 4, Prime 5, and it was definitely starting to get up there and be a little bit more of a challenge, which is
Yeah.
nice. It's nice to not outscale the Chopins so much. So this is one of the big things that we're excited about with our new content scaling system.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
to be able to preserve this content so it's relevant to me. Like, I could have fun doing this content without being, only level 23 or high level 80 or whatever the appropriate level is for it.
Really solid interrupts there. But yeah,
Practiced.
that was one of the things we really wanted to do with Prime Expeditions. There have been people who've been asking for solo and small group progression of some kind and a greater challenge within this space. And being able to do that through Expeditions with the Prime system, I think is fantastic. We're finally able to kind of offer an interesting scaling one that's backwards.
I get so turned around here, and it's so dark.
Sure.
Also, the stream light's glaring at me. I swear. I swear I've been here before, and I know where I'm going. Yeah,
to
it's this
your
way.
left.
Yep, the laser hall.
Yep.
So this is nice, one of the ways to break up just pure combat and picking up
Yeah.
optional objectives, a little jump puzzle.
Little platforming.
Ooh,
Careful.
don't want to go too far.
This is where it always gets me. I always accidentally dash into one of them and then
I
Hit
think I forgot
3.
to turn off double tap to dodge. So
Yeah.
this
So-
is the stream computer. All right.
So we've ended up in a space where they're not ravenous.
Oh,
They are actually just crazy.
well, there's a pretty fine line between the two, isn't there?
Hey, they have vital serum.
Oh, they've been hoarding it from the other crew.
Exactly. Like these are the holdouts. They
Wow. That's not very nice.
no,
These
it's
guys are kind
not.
of rude.
It's kind of terrible, if we're being honest. But yeah, so they've been holding out, and it turns out you interrupted their fun.
Turn back on the engines or the shield generators, something.
There's just more generators
Oh,
now.
more
you can
generators
move
to
forward.
power up.
Yeah.
Because we're getting closer to the bridge of the ship,
Exactly.
and we need to unlock the doors to get in there.
And the captain just called you.
So who is this captain?
She is the one who tried to get everybody out of here, and it turns out that interacting with the Ether kind of made her a little screwy. She's been hearing voices. Thinks she's communicating with something out there. No one's really sure what, but she seems really confident about it, and she's also pretty confident that she's going to kick your butt.
Like bad guys usually are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need that turret.
Nah.
We'll just let that be.
You're good to keep going.
Uh-oh. Cue dramatic interlude.
Yeah.
What is that? That's pink and yellow and bright.
Why, that's something from the Ether, in fact.
And it seemed to be an unpleasant experience for that Mordash.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well for him. Hopefully you'll fare better.
I have no fear.
So we wanted to do something a little different with etheric beings, and so we decided to go with these glowing balls of light. I think they're really cool.
They are pretty cool. They're not particularly threatening looking, but they're very unexpected. You wouldn't, if I saw that floating around my house, I would probably be terrified, like those guys that just ran away.
Yeah.
From me. They're definitely otherworldly.
Yes.
So they using the etheric drive, you slipped through and these came through with you or something like that?
Yeah, it seems to be. It kind of damaged reality a little bit.
Oh.
So you're in Prime, so you're going to need to head over to the other side, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, and here where there's got the activate the teleporter or
I missed
something.
playing normal too.
All right.
Need to get the drive diagnostics from these fine people.
Yes. That's what we're here for, right? So we can
Yes.
give them to Captain Weir and he can do his ecos thing up. So there's etheric portals.
Yep, got
Opening up.
to dodge them.
Those rifts are not pleasant. There's actually a challenge to avoid them all. So
Yes.
because I'm going for gold, like you do,
Naturally. Have to show off how awesome you are.
well, that's why I'm here. We're going to have to make sure we don't get hit by any of those.
Yes. Also, just as a heads up, folks, I know that there are a lot of questions about certain other aspects of the game, Primal Matrix, gear levels, PvP. I appreciate that you guys have those questions. We're not going to be answering them today on stream. Please continue to post about them in the PTR forum. We are reading, but this is focused specifically on the expedition and dungeon.
Did I miss a crew log back here?
People can ask questions about that.
Yeah. Please ask all the questions
Yeah.
you have about either from the Ether or Coldblood Citadel.
Yeah, by all means, like, well,
Where
come
are
on
we?
in with questions. We're
Alright.
we're listening for them.
I didn't miss an optional. We're going forward. Report, restore the teleporter function. Yeep.
Careful. Yeah, now you can restore the teleport function.
There it is.
Excellent.
I think I know where the last one is.
There is a lot
Ooh.
of
All right, we're good.
of journals through here, but there's a lot of story to tell.
Exactly. There's a lot of story to tell, and I'd rather have too much than too little in
Yeah.
terms of story development. Whoa.
Careful.
All
So,
right. Gold is preserved.
So this is actually one of our shorter expeditions when you compare them to the length of certain others.
Sure.
And this is definitely the length that we want to continue to have moving forward. We have some longer ones, obviously, and they're very epic in scope. But we're going for shorter session playtime for these, and so honestly, just like 15, 20 minutes is a nice sweet spot for expeditions, so that's kind of where we're at.
Absolutely. Like, I know when you pop into the queue and you get an expedition that's going to take 30 or 45 minutes, you're kind of like, maybe I'll, do something else for that time instead of have, when you're waiting for friends, expeditions are kind of the perfect thing to be doing.
Yes.
And committing to a 45-minute completion on one of the longer ones or something it's just a lot.
Yeah.
We like these to be short and snappy.
Yep. There's a question in chat. Are the bug challenges in Coldblood Citadel fixed? They should be. I think they should be this week, but if not, absolutely next week they should be in. So you should be able to do that.
Note that we did change the metal completion or the prime progression to silver
Yes.
this week. So even if you aren't able to get all the challenges, you should still be able to progress on silver at least one step at a time.
Yes, and we'll be
Silver's
talking
gold.
more about that sort of thing when we get.
Who's that? Katya
Does that make me terrible?
Zarkov. That is the captain.
Yep.
She's kind of just floating there, suspended through that etheric portal. That looks pretty rad.
Knock her down.
And then, so we just enabled the self-destruct, and get that guy. We're going to have to fight her while the ship is threatening to explode. We want to beat her to the... She doesn't... So tell us what's her motivation right now? Like, what's she looks crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously she's crazy. She is very concerned that you are messing up her whole thing with the ether. Like, that drive needs to stay on and needs to be going at full power because she is trying to get that thing that she's talking to come to her.
The voices.
Yes.
Yeah, she's saying stuff like, the one is coming, he is coming, or
Yes.
stuff like that. That's pretty terrifying. I
Yes.
think it might be time to go.
Yeah, it looks like the ship's blowing up. Maybe get out of there.
Handy dandy warrior leap. So I'm getting a real, Event Horizon vibe with
Yes.
this whole thing, and that was such a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, we've always said that we're really inspired by a lot of sci-fi tropes as we make expeditions, and this is no exception. There's definitely a little bit of Event Horizon going on here.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed that movie, you'd probably enjoy your trip through Evil from the Ether,
Yeah.
which is now done.
Yep. Now there's a question in chat about Prime expeditions not going up. We know about that bug. We are working on it. I apologize that you've been unable to test the higher Prime levels. You'll be able to.
See,
We're working on it.
so I just golded it, and it says I have, so it says here, yeah, the bug is
Yeah.
still there. We should have it fixed next week.
Yes.
Although here it does say I have 3 unlocked, so we'll have
Yeah.
to look into that. All right, sweet. Great time renewal from the Ether. And let's see what I got for rewards. Prime 1, some eye level 70 gadgets. I don't think those are going to be an upgrade for me right now.
No.
Maybe when we get closer to Prime 10.
Probably,
Although, ooh, nice explosive outro.
Yes. You kind of wrecked the Zarkov Shade. Good
Did
job.
we get the drive?
You got the schematics for the drive.
All right, that's good enough. We can build one. We have the technology.
I feel like maybe building one's a bad idea. I feel like
Ooh.
maybe that's an issue. Nope. As always, the questionable ending of an
The
expedition.
end. Maybe we didn't get all the etheric beings out.
It's an issue.
All right. So you can play Evil from the Ether right now on PTR.
Yes.
It will be launching with our Primal Matrix update, and when it comes to the live servers. So that will be part of the prime level scaling that we have coming in that update.
Yes.
One of the 3 expeditions available with, what are the other 2? Gauntlet and
Frag Zero.
Fragment Zero.
They came from
Yep.
Frag Zero.
So those are the 3 expeditions that will scale right when the update hits live.
Yep.
Next, we're jumping into Coldblood Citadel.
Yes, indeed we are.
So this one's a dungeon, which is going to mean it's meant for 5 people. So
We don't have 5 people,
no.
but that's fine. We're just going to cheat a little bit.
So let me turn on a few cheats. Turn on
this-
There we go.
This will not represent a real run,
Yep.
but we'd like to show off the bosses in the dungeon and just kind of give you a sense of what it is.
Yeah, talk about some of the mechanics and how it was designed and how we got from where we started to where we are. And let's go ahead and pop in.
We are using dev magic to be able to solo queue for that, by the way.
Yes, dungeons are still very much 5-person content. You will need
Do not expect that to work.
a group. All right. So, let's set stage. What is Coldblood Citadel?
What is Coldblood Citadel? So, if anybody played Vault of the Wardens back when Arctera was launched, there was a fellow at the end called Herzog Coldblood who was a huge jerk, and you killed him.
Good job, you.
Yep, great job. Turns out there are people who can make that kind of get reversed in the Ocean. Yeah.
All that stuff with primal echoes and
Yeah, so the Iceblood Coven has decided that they were kind of pissed that the Frost King died, and they want him back. So they're trying to resurrect him in Coldblood Citadel, which was kind of Herzog's stomping grounds, as you might imagine from the name.
yeah.
So Tower Engineer Renhakul, who is the world boss in Arctera, has enlisted you as a player to get in there and stop that, because Renhakul doesn't like you, but he likes Herzog way less.
So we're working with the Winter Fury Pel, which are the
Yes.
water type Pel, that to fight back against the Ocean. I mean, some of the water Pel were slaves to the Ocean of
Exactly.
Arctera for a long time. Now that the warlord's been deposed, they're free. But why are they here? Why are they wanting to attack right now?
Well, Tower Engineer Renhakul is, of course, a Pel as well, and he has enlisted the Winter Fury to break down the gates and get in there to stop this resurrection ritual, to stop
Right.
Herzog's primal echo from becoming his living self again.
Yep.
And so yes, in Alliance of Convenience, Renhakul is not your best friend, but
He's still a bad guy, but it's kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend
yes.
for now thing. All right, so we're going into combat. We're starting up with, there's some Osin Blade Witch over there.
Mm-hmm.
Osin Battlesworn.
And it's interesting to note, this is not our first Osin dungeon. We have another Osin dungeon in Kelvareth, but with all of the really awesome assets we got from Arctera, we thought that making another Osin dungeon that was all about Frozen Osin or Frozen
Frozen love Froyo.
would be really cool. And so we use a lot of the Arctera art here, and I think it looks really awesome.
Oh, right. There we go.
Don't die. Oh, you can't die. You've got on.
Yeah, I'm cheating
You are. It's fine.
for
But yeah, so
cinematic purposes.
using some weapons that we haven't really seen on Ocean before, like the scythe, which I think looks really cool.
Yep, the battle sworn. Those are pretty badass big Osin.
Yeah. So you're trying to help out the Pell here. You're trying to prevent them from dying to the Ocean, and also collecting some Soul Frost shards, because they shouldn't have those either.
Yep. Hey, take any opportunity to steal some power from anyone. So the Pell are sieging the gates of Coldblood Citadel, basically.
Yes.
Where they're trying to break in. They're not doing such a great job.
No.
With the smashing down the gates. And
Pell aren't so good at the war thing, really.
they're good servants.
Yeah.
We've seen them do some pretty cool stuff in Storm Talon's lair. But
But,
this guy,
I mean, they did summon a giant ice elemental to help break down that gate, but there's a minor problem.
right. So this is Hailstone Gatecrasher. This is the first boss of the instance.
Yes.
He is a giant ice elemental, and he's sort of been infused with some
Soul Frost.
Soul Frost, which, you know, the Osin of Kelvareth use Soul Rot to take control of, you know, the minds of the slaves so that they work, you know, obedient slaves, and they've infused Soul Rot into Soul Frost into the water elemental for the same effect.
Exactly. And so the siege elemental is suddenly your horrible enemy. So
I may need some special dev magic to cheat on this so that we don't die horribly.
yeah.
All right. So these Pell channelers have shown up to help us during the fight. They're we'll use them as best we can, but we're getting into it. One of the cool things I like about this fight is notice the edges of my screen starting to freeze over.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so frigid cold. He's like actually freezing my body just being near him, and so that slowly keeps snaring me worse and worse. The way we combat that is if you jump, it clears the debuff.
Yep.
So you have
Gotta
to make
keep
sure
warm,
you
gotta
jump.
keep moving.
Exactly, got to keep moving, and I think this full screen effect is just fantastic. We have
Yeah,
nice slow growing. It's great.
I'm really happy we got to use it.
All right, and
This guy's all about ice spikes. He loves himself some ice spikes.
seriously, if you were made of, you know, Soul Frost infused ice, you'd probably be pretty content stabbing people with your ice spikes.
Yep.
All right,
Beat him up. There we go.
he's in a
So
berserker
now
rage.
he's a little mad.
Ow, he's hitting way harder than before.
Probably stop that.
So drag it over here. See, nice little moo. Takes off the berserk, and we're good to go.
And then he kills the Pell that did that to him, because it turns out
Oh no!
he didn't like that.
So this is one of the things that basically you get a limited use amount of Pell for this fight, which kind of plays into. Ooh, I probably want to interrupt this.
Yes. So there you go.
There we go. Note, I am but one man, so I had to cheat and use more interrupts than I've been given.
Yeah. Typically, you're gonna want multiple people to interrupt that.
Yeah, that is a group activity, which is, you know, that's pretty commonplace in our dungeons. We see a lot of group interrupt activity.
Yeah.
Anyways, with the Berserker Rage idea, this is something that may not be particularly relevant on Prime 1. A lot of overgeared people can kind of just smash through it. You have big beefy tanks and big beefy healers able to heal you through it. But as the Prime difficulty scales up, it becomes much more important to be able to remove the Berserker Rages in a timely manner so you just don't get one shot. And then also, the limited number of them means that there's actually a real DPS check set on this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your group is not doing enough damage, you're not going to be able to beat one of the higher Prime difficulties because the boss will just get out of control. When we were designing things for scaling dungeons, these are the kind of things we have to take into account. That if we don't have true DPS checks, if we don't have some scaling mechanics that make your defenses matter or your health matter, it's really easy to skip past where you should be in the difficulty curve, and we really want people to earn their progression through the system. So it's just a little insight into how we're thinking about designing scaling dungeons. I mean, this mechanic is actually really similar to, say, Thunderfoot's mushrooms, which we weren't thinking about that actively when we designed that fight, but in general, some good design tenets end up carrying over to being, really applying. So in a lot of our dungeons, you'll find DPS checks already built in, and
Yes.
those are we think are going to scale really well and
Yep.
play fun at all levels.
And for folks who are asking, this is indeed a 5-player dungeon. We're just hacksers.
Yeah. Notice me using my super dev cheats. So maybe I can.
Something I thought was really cool in developing this dungeon was being able to use the new tech that we got from Red Moon Terror development.
Yep, absolutely. This next trash pack is an example of that.
Yes.
We use a thing we called shared health pool, that basically all of these little clusters, little guys in the cluster are soul bonded together and they share a health pool. So if you deal damage to any of them, you're dealing damage to all of them, but they have more health or 4 times effectively as more health than they would otherwise. This gives us an interesting way for people to approach encounters where you're not necessarily able to cleave down all these guys really easily or quickly because they're weak fodder, but they're also not the standard big guy kind of thing.
Yes.
It's really been nice to leverage some of the new tech we got from Red Moon Terror to try out new mechanics with it.
And with an ice dungeon, of course, being able to slide players around is something that we did our best not to overuse. Because, man, we were tempted. But ultimately, we decided not to slide you around too much, but we do slide you around a bit.
Yeah, the new slide mechanics we call Vector Slide are pretty great. They allow us to create some interesting movement challenges.
Yes,
but
definitely.
They're one of those things you have to be a little bit wary of overuse, because when we take too much control away from the players, you're
It's
just
just
sliding
not as
around.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's played an ice level in a game that's just been slippy, slidey, and no fun.
exactly. There's definite limits. So this is the mini boss
This
of
is
the dungeon.
Karak the Soul Rotten.
Yep.
And who's he?
So he is actually one of Renicool's bros from back in the day. Renicool is actually trying to get you here primarily to save this guy. It turns out it's a little bit too late, and he's already corrupted by soul rot. It's very sad.
Oh no.
And so you're just going to have to take him down. Renicool gets real mad about this, actually, and just tells you to kill him because he's too far gone.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's make Renicool
Let's do that. Yeah.
happy.
So all of his stuff is based around soul rot. He will infect you with a soul rot contagion. If you have multiple people, he will link you together and do damage. You need to break the link.
That looks like an interruptible. Yeah.
Yep, and
Go
also
me.
you can stop him from doing that, which is important.
Mm-hmm. Whoop. I'm doing lots of damage.
But yeah, a lot of his mechanics are kind of dependent on more than one person being around.
Right, they're group interactive
Yeah.
things. Don't stand too close to your friends, stand right next to your friends, interrupt in a group, those kind of mechanics that
Yes.
sell much better when it's not just me playing.
Yes.
All right, so we downed him for Renicool.
Yep.
Now we're moving on. It's another Blade Witch, which you've seen earlier, mixed with some new different types of trash, or base population. So these are... It's one thing we try to do throughout dungeons is sort of layer the trash together, where you might encounter one piece of it in the beginning, and then as you move through the instance, you encounter that same base population, those same creatures again with the same abilities, but they're mixed with another component to their cluster, so they end up creating a little bit different gameplay that's half familiar and half new. And learning to overcome those challenges that are paired in different ways is part of the core fun and challenge of doing dungeons.
Yeah, definitely. You learn as you go.
Whoa, spinny. That was exciting telegraph. We're going to keep...
Oh yeah, have to keep you on your toes.
Quite literally. All right. Save some Pell in here. Great. And we're going to choose to ignore that guy.
There you go.
So, we can talk a little bit about... I would skip that guy because I'm trying to go for a gold medal, which
Yes.
is something that we want to encourage in dungeons, especially because it's now linked to the prime system, the gold and silver medals.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of changes are we making to that system based on the feedback that players have provided and some of our data gathered from PTR.
Sure. So obviously, there's been a lot of talk about our change from taking the requirement down to silver from gold on Prime advancement, and a lot of that had to do with the timer bonus and things related to precisely how medal points were distributed and rewarded. So we're changing that up considerably to the point where we're going to ask you to do a certain percentage of base pop killing. We're going to ask you to kill the bosses and such, and the timer is not going to count for nearly as much as it used to.
We're taking away the bonus points from doing it ultra quickly.
Yes. Basically, we're just changing all those percentages up, making it a lot easier to understand for players, so you know where your points are coming from, and it should feel a lot better ultimately if you are running the dungeon appropriately and not just abusing geometry to skip as many trash packs as possible in order to get the highest timer bonus you possibly can.
Right.
So
that doesn't mean that we're expecting you to kill every single trash mob in the dungeon or base population mob in the dungeon. Like, in the case of Sanctuary of the Sword Maiden, that would be obscene.
We're not cruel.
And we do think that intelligently skipping certain packs is part of dungeon gameplay. We
Absolutely.
want you to be able to thread the needle and demonstrate your skill on evading packs and, add value to stalker stealth and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're not going to be asking you to kill absolutely everything you see. It's a pretty intelligent percentage of how much is on the critical path to the dungeon. So it won't be too bad, but it will be asking you to kill some things. So it'll also help appropriate Prime difficulty, I think, as we go on. The idea is to post a more detailed breakdown of what precisely we're doing when it goes live in the PTR patch. So I will probably be posting that, so I will let you guys know what's going on.
Along with that, it's part of the design goal for this change was to bring silver and gold into a place that we felt they accurately represented the gameplay that we wanted out of those and the rewards that were given for those, and then predictably communicate that to players in a way that feels very standardized between the dungeons. We don't want people wondering what gold is, wondering how I get it, wondering why my points were like I was here halfway through the silver medal and then I completed the dungeon and it bounced all the way up to gold or didn't change at all. Like, we're trying to give a more accurate display of your progression through the dungeon.
Exactly. It should make a lot more sense. It should be a lot more visible to you moving forward. So I'm actually pretty happy with the changes and where they're going, and I hope you guys will be too.
Yep. And that should go up in the PTR update that we'd expect to deploy next Tuesday, but with everything there's always caveats. If the build blows up for any number of reasons, it may be delayed.
Right. But Rillian and I are trying to get that out to you guys this coming week.
All right. So next up, let's skip through these guys. We've already fought these types.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's get to the real exciting portion of this.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Man, it feels like I should be able to mount here.
It does. It's kind of a huge staircase.
It is grand, though. When Art delivered this space, when Art came and showed us this awesomeness, it was just like, whoa! Look at they outdid themselves again. And this is, for the most part, the same stuff you've seen in Arctera, just put together in a new presentation that feels friggin' epic.
Yeah, it's really cool looking. So, you found the Iceblood Coven.
All right.
It turns out that they are in the middle of resurrecting Herzog Coldblood here, and you don't want him to come back, do you?
No. There he is, all being all ghosty like.
Yeah.
So let's stop them before they res him.
Who do we have
here? We have Dark Sister Ulfrid, Dark Sister
Katla,
and Dark Sister Golag.
Yes.
All right.
So
they're kind of manly Dark Sister names. I feel like they're going to beat the crap
Nordic.
out of me. Yeah, there you go.
They're Nordic. So as you may notice, each of them have a unique color, and thank you again to our art team for coming together on this. They made a bunch of really cool Arctera-specific Ocean Witch style things for us here. And
Trying to get a good camera perspective. This one is actually infused with soul rot,
Yes,
and her skin
she's the
it's
soul rot
rippling
one.
over her skin, which
yeah,
just
it's
looks fantastic.
awesome. So, yeah, they gave us a
Uh-oh.
bunch of different ones. Up,
Here comes Katla.
Katla's coming with her blood magic. So each one of these is themed differently, and as you go on in the fight, more and more of them will activate until all 3 of them are up. You can kill Ulfrid completely before Katla shows up, but Katla will immediately come after you after that.
Yeah. Oh god. Right back
DPS
into
is
it.
very important in this fight because you don't want to have all 3 of them up at the same time. They start to get problematic.
Right. And this is another example of us designing for scaling
Yes.
instances. The DPS check is moderately challenging at an appropriate gear level for, Prime 1, which
Yes.
I think I'm doing Prime 1 right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you ramp up in Prime difficulty, you get into much, much more challenging, tuning.
Yep.
And if you don't have the DPS, you'll end up dealing with all 3, which means a lot of damage and a lot of things to avoid. And, whack, she just hit me real hard.
Yep, so Ulfrid casts a bunch of chasing shadowy spikes. Katla makes blood tornadoes.
Oh yeah,
I'm so happy that we have blood tornadoes.
blood tornadoes are a thing.
And Golag is unusually slow compared to her sisters, but she packs a wallop.
That's because she's all soul frost. She's infused with soul frost.
That's right.
Frosty things snare you.
Yes,
I've played video games before.
it's true. So yeah, you don't really want to get in front of her unless you're a tank, and you can't take too many of those hits even if you are. She's meant to be kited, so good lord, please kite her.
Also, you don't want to get behind her because she's kind of leaving a trail of soul
Yeah.
frost
And then
goop.
she just casts these soul frost spikes too, like she's just a pain.
Yep. She's definitely the toughest one of the 3.
Absolutely.
Which is why they save her till last, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
She comes in to clean up.
Oof.
There you go.
Got her. Got some loot. Oh yeah. 85. So Prime tier is rewarding 85s now.
Yep.
Based on your guys' feedback on rewards on PTR, we made some adjustments. There's probably more adjustments coming. We don't really want to talk about those too much in this stream, but definitely we're listening to your feedback, and it's important that we want each level of the Prime scaling system to be as rewarding as it should be for that risk versus reward. Like
Yes.
we want everyone to feel like they're earning the items they're getting, but they're also accurately rewarded for the things that the challenge they're standing up to.
Yep.
All right.
So.
Oh no, he's back.
Yeah, it turns out still resurrected him.
I kind of talked over a really cool part of that.
It's
though,
okay.
Where the spirits of the Dark Witches, to resurrect Herzog or bring him back to this realm, got to make a sacrifice, and the spirits of the 3 Dark Sisters were that final sacrifice to
Yep.
bring him back.
Yeah, so he came back anyway. Oops. So fun fact, because you killed Golag last, which is the order that most people are going to kill them in, he is infused with Soul Frost first. If you killed one of the other ladies last, he would be infused with one of the other ones first.
Yep. Which also affects some of the ability, that affects
Yeah.
the abilities that he has access to. So he's starting right now with Soul Frost Surge, where he drops a pool of Soul Frost that is not only very threatening, but also a defensive field for him. So
Yep.
you've got to move him out of it, which means you're going to be moving around in this fight. That's a good, one of the core combat pillars of WildStar.
Yep.
You get to move.
Which is important because he's got a big arena.
He does. You'll see in just a moment that he actually uses most of that arena throughout the fight, not only moving from Soul Frost
Yes.
Surges, which I'm doing a terrible job of right now, but also some of his other mechanics. Whoops, I did way too much damage to him.
Yep, that's fine. Just
He'll spin. He's going to spin out.
he's going to probably be a little confused, but he'll be fine.
My bad. I hit that button 12 times instead of
So
2 times.
he's summoning
Oh,
a
no.
bunch of primal echoes now.
Which the Primal Echoes get the defensive from the Soul Frost Surge bubbles, which seems, now it matters where I'm placing them.
Yes.
This guy, we're killing these, but as they get to Herzog in the middle, he's absorbing the essence of the primal echoes of all these fallen Osin warriors.
And for everyone that he absorbs, he hurts you guys a whole bunch. And he is going to just do more terrible things.
Primal infusion, he's getting stronger and stronger.
Yep, he is doing more damage now. So much more damage. I
Poof, come
think
on
you
down.
made him sad.
I think I broke him by doing way much damage.
Yep.
Let's see. I want to see his other abilities, so let's go ahead and...
Die.
Oh no, he killed me.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Wow, he's more powerful than I thought.
Turns out things sometimes break when you do 90% of their health in a single swing.
Yeah. Why are you breaking the fight?
It's quite literally what I do. I break things.
It's true. And I appreciate it because it helps me fix these things
You know,
as they show up.
when you come from QA, that's your roots.
It's true.
Breaking things.
It's absolutely true.
All right, so let's do Herzog again. We'll skip through the first phase.
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
If you do, I want to say like 600K.
Sure. We should be good. All right. Howdy, Harry. One of those. Oof. Get out of there. He's almost ready. Should be good.
There you go.
All
Should
right, so
go
he's
up.
going to go up.
And
Soon?
it'll be in. You just started the fight. He has a min time.
A warm up.
Yeah. He'll go eventually. There he goes.
Poof. He is summoning all these primal echoes.
Yep.
We've got to off them. Or try our best. So this is one of the things. These primal echoes come from all 6 like soul channels around the room.
Yes.
Which means that you have to spread your group out. And even if you spread out well, there's still more of them than there are of you.
Yeah,
So
they only take a few hits to kill, but chances are pretty good that he's going to absorb a couple of them, and that's to be expected.
Yep.
Yeah, be very careful.
All right, I think we're almost
Yeah,
done
he
with
should
those.
come down soon.
Come on, Harry. Poof.
Nope. There you go.
There he
All right.
is. Oh no.
Up.
A blood tornado and spikes.
Yep. He's
So-
real mad now.
This is one of the things that I love about boss design is when we can use some abilities from the other boss in
Yep.
an intuitive way. These mechanics work a little bit differently than the previous boss.
Yes.
But they are very much, he is consumed the souls of the previous boss and uses their abilities against you in conjunction.
With
which-
his own stuff, yeah.
Which empowers him to be much, much scarier. All 3 things happening at the same time near the end of the fight gets real exciting.
Definitely.
So, all right.
We've seen pretty much everything. So
We have.
you
So
can
let's go
kill
ahead and end him. Oh, I got silver. You'll note the metal changes aren't actually in this build that we're playing right now. So
Yes.
probably would have gotten a different score based on the number of things I killed and some of the optionals I don't think
Yeah.
I completed. That probably would have been a bronze run.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, judging by our new metrics. And again, let's check out some of the loot. Ooh, we've got a big pile down here. 85. Thought something looked like it dropped at 90. Maybe not. Oh well.
Hey, you want to show off what you get when you get all the achievements in Coldblood Citadel?
Ooh, there's an achievement. There is achievement
If-
rewards for Coldblood Citadel.
If you do all of the achievements in Coldblood Citadel, you get a sweet costume.
Awesome. Oh, nice.
Yes.
That is our Osin theme costume. Let's actually equip it, run it around.
So you can basically be Herzog, a little bit of a bloodier Herzog, really.
Yep. This is the weapon from the Arctera stuff,
Yeah.
but the full outfit is a new reward from Coldblood Citadel.
Yep,
And
that is the meta achievement for Coldblood.
doing all the achievement
Yep.
the challenges and achievements. And then, it dies really well. You can go bright pink.
Oh,
This looks fantastic, right? I mean, bubblegum
no,
pink.
no.
I may have red.
You have every
I
red.
probably have all the reds. Let's see. Fire. Looks real good in fire.
Yeah.
Arctera Ice Blood. Blue Chill. this is me just dying everything outright. So
Oh,
I'm sure
so
that
bright.
our players with actually some artistic sense,
There you go.
yeah, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, the
Dominion
icy
red,
bits
that's much
remain
better.
icy, but yeah.
Yes, I'm not actually colorblind. It just seems that way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's Coldblood Citadel.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a new dungeon that you a 5-person dungeon, despite me doing it all solo. But you'll be able to play that. You can play it on PTR right now.
Yes.
You can progress up through the Prime tiers. Give feedback on how the dungeon plays. Any bugs you find are greatly appreciated. I think we're fixing them basically as fast as they come in.
Absolutely.
And it's it's actually a pretty good experience. It's not one of our longer dungeons. It's more comparable to Kelbreth or Stormtalon in terms of length.
Which coincidentally are the other two that are available for Prime.
Yep, that is exactly that. So in our Prime dungeon system, we'll be able to scale all 3 of those dungeons up to a very, very difficult challenge. I saw some people trying Prime 10 on PTR this week, and it was pretty exciting.
Oh, I saw some of that too.
Rather lethal.
Yes.
But that's kind of our goal. Is we want it to be a big challenge. We want it to be something you work towards and progress on. That is an activity to do to get great rewards outside of raids. But we're by no means intending for it to replace raids.
Yes.
Anyway, so all right. I think that wraps up our content
Yeah,
for
pretty
this
much.
day. Let's see. What else do we have?
I'm not sure. My chat on this particular side has not moved for a bit, so I don't know if
All right.
there are any questions
Maybe
in chat.
the chat on the tablet stalled out or something.
Yeah.
But cool. So I'd like to say another thank you to everyone on PTR. Like, you guys are integral to the whole process of making this game good. We make the game. We need feedback and iteration to get everything in the place we want it to be in. And the Primal Matrix update for us is like super important. It's super critical. We really think that nailing it is going to make the game a lot more fun for a long time to come.
Yes.
So we want to do it the best we possibly can.
Absolutely. So if you haven't jumped in yet, please jump in, test everything. If you are interested in expeditions, if that's primarily what you play, please don't hesitate to jump in and test them and let us know what you think about the new Prime levels. If you're a dungeon player primarily, please jump in and test all of the Prime dungeons. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we need to adjust, but especially test our new content as well, the new expedition and new dungeon, because we need as much feedback as you can give us. The more we get, the better it'll be.
Yep. All right.
Thank you so much for tuning in. PTR is still going, so it'll still be going for a couple weeks at least, right?
Yep. And make sure you can catch us on Twitter
Yes.
or on the forums. We read posts on Reddit. We read everywhere. So make sure to follow us on Twitch, and you'll see all when these streams come up. All that jazz, the social media stuff.
Yep, absolutely. You can follow us on Twitter at WildStar. Our website is wildstar-online.com, and the Reddit is Reddit r WildStar.
Yep.
So check us out.
Cool.
And your Twitter is at
right
CRB_series.
there.
Mine is Tizcadium. Yes, they're actually underneath us this time. So you can check us out too. We're both active on Twitter and respond to a whole bunch of stuff. So
Cool.
thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for watching. It was a blast. We hope you have as much fun playing the stuff as we had showing it to you.
Yes. Get in there and test, and thank you again.